Gloves. Hi, everybody. Um, I'm gonna do something a little different. I don't have plans for cooking today. Actually, I've got some stuff in the Instapot that in a little bit I'm gonna have to pull out. I'm attempting like a 15 bean soup in the Instapot. Hopefully you can hear me decently. I'm experimenting with using my AirPods for the stream because I've got in like 9 days this contest coming up, the Factual Foodie on John Lee Young's channel, and I'm struggling a little bit with how I'm going to be like. I think we all go together at a Discord call, and I plan on co-streaming. And maybe it has to be in Twitch. I don't know where the audio is going to go through for me to be. Okay. The pressure just hit 0, so we need to let it natural release for 15 minutes. I don't know why it switched to keep warm. God damn it. And then I'm supposed to quick release. So I don't want it on keep warm. Oh, I'm sorry. This new pot is just like not what I'm used to. Like it should have switched to a different kind of release. I can't hit pressure cook. It won't let me just shut off keep warm. Great. I mean, theoretically, it's on natural release. It won't just keep building pressure. Experiment. Well, I guess in 15 minutes I'll do the release and we'll hope that keep warm is doing enough to make this turn out. If nothing else, I'll throw it in a damn pot and finish it an old-fashioned way. Okay. Anyway. So anyway, I'm not sure on the mechanics of how this is going to work. I mean, I guess worst comes to worst, I'll plug in my plug-in headset, but I'd rather not be that tied to my PC with everything I plan to have going on, going from place to place and having to run and wash my hands occasionally for this competition. So I'm trying to get something mobile to work. The lav mic, one of which I didn't put through the wash. Oops. It doesn't help me hear them, and I need to be able to hear because they're asking me trivia questions and stuff. And there's other back and forth, so I'm not sure how I'm streaming and then also doing that. I can't just let it use the built-in stuff because feedback will happen. Of all the years, I've been doing this, 10, 12, I don't know, a long time. And all the guests I've had on my shows, this setup is a completely different challenge because I haven't had guests. So I'm going to do something different. I've got these crafts that were supposed to be like Christmas presents I haven't finished that I really want to work on. So I'm going to do some etching, glass etching first, this wine glass. And then we'll see where I am, if I'm going to continue with the metal etching that I have to do, which is a different process. But I have everything here I need. Tomorrow I plan to see my friend who this wine glass is for. And so I figured it'd be good to get done today. And if you come into my stream and you've got, I don't know, you're someone who is in my Discord and wants to help me test stuff. Rob's having a nap, and then he has to go get dinner, and blah, blah, blah. I would not mind if you pop into the Discord in one of the voice channels, and then I can fart around with tech. I know that's not the most exciting thing for other viewers, but I really need to get this sorted at some point soon. I have a brand new giant bottle of Armor Etch. Armor Etch is the product I've been using for years and years for glass etching. Um, it's very gentle. I handled this with my bare hands, unlike the ferric chloride acid that I use for metal etching. If we get to that, um, probably won't today because I still have to weed the Cricut stencil and everything for that one. I'm putting my friend Lori's name on hers, like I have for mine. If you can see, it says Ember's Kitchen. Has a little rolling pin and stuff. These are nifty little gift items. So this glass is a wine glass from the Dollar Tree, and I have made this stencil, Jesus Touch My Water, on my Cricut. I made it on my Cricut, and then I weeded out where I want etched, and it has vinyl around it. And then I used transfer tape, transfer stuff. That's what this masking tape-like substance is over it, which then I can pull the back off the vinyl, which is the part with the grid, is the backing, and then I'll have the green vinyl still on this transfer stuff, and it's for transferring, hence the name. And we will transfer that, use it to transfer the stencil onto the glass. I'm then going to use painter's tape to put around it. You see it comes really close to the edge in some places, this stencil, just to make sure we don't want etching cream anywhere that we don't want etched. So that protects the rest of the glass. And then you let it sit. I think I usually do about 7 minutes. The directions say like 1 to 3, it says. No, I always go a little longer than that, 6 or 7 minutes or whatever. And then you just rinse it with water, and you pull off your tape, and you dry it off, and you've got etched glass with whatever you want on it. I've got some for sale now at the Coffee Lodge that like this. They have Locked, Shocked, and Barrel. It says Friends, like the Friends logo. And some really big, beautiful wine glasses with this hummingbird pattern are for sale over at Bottles and Taps at the Old Pharmacy in Troutman, North Carolina. Yeah. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a little cotton. It's hard to find cotton balls. What's up with that? Cotton pads? Sure, I understand. For a lot of cosmetic things, they're way better. But, like, they've completely replaced cotton balls in a lot of stores, apparently. But probably shouldn't open this. I know I have one open somewhere. This is isopropyl alcohol. This is the strong stuff, the 91% that I get for crafting and stuff. So I'm going to clean the outside of the glass. So there's no like oils or anything that's going to prevent my vinyl from sticking down really, really good. Because sticking is important. Sometimes you get like places in the vinyl. If your etching stuff gets under there, it's gonna etch that part, and sometimes you get a little blobby thing around your letters. And hopefully we're avoiding that today. This is a bowl scraper. I find it to be great. There's lots of specialized tools you can buy more expensively from, Cricut and those kind of companies that for braiding down and making sure they have braiders that are like rollers. They call them braiders to get all the bubbles out when you stick a stencil. This scraper I love. I got it at like TJ Maxx at some point, squeezing that one, and it's like soft, rubbery on one side and hard on the other. And I use it a lot for my stencil stuff. So, let's get the vinyl, backing off of the vinyl. It's tricky, you got to make sure to pull off the right layer. You don't want to pull off your transfer stuff. You pull off that thick backing of the vinyl. Getting it started is always the hardest part. Yeah. It's like taking the back off a sticker. It is taking the back off a sticker, pretty much. Like you see a lot of at cons and stuff and transfers that people have on their vehicles. I know I've bought them over the years, and this is exactly what they're doing. They're cutting stencil vinyl out on a cutter. Excuse me. Either Cricut or another brand, and then when you buy them, usually they've got like a transfer tape, sometimes a clearer one than I use. I like this. It's a lot cheaper and easier to use, I find, than the Cricut branded stuff, which is such a strong adhesive. So then when you buy it, and then you have to pull off. I wish these scored like fancy die cut stickers, but pull off the backing, and I'm making sure the vinyl stays down. You see here, that's the middle of my E that wants to stay on or stay up on the backing, but I'm using my weeding tool to keep it down with the rest of the vinyl. When it's free floating, like the middle of an E, sometimes they want to stay, or they want to not stay with the rest of their friends. No reason for the green. That's something just, this was on sale for $3 a roll, which is a really good price on clearance, and so I got a bunch of it for doing transfers. I use permanent vinyl for transfers. There are things meant for stencils and that are not called permanent, but they also don't stick as well. This is not hard to take off once you've finished etching, as long as it hasn't been on there long and you didn't heat it and everything. So it's worth using permanent to have your stencil stick very securely. And then, like cold water kind of helps it release too. And I rinse in cold water when I rinse the etching cream off. Okay, I'm almost done. I'm down here with my little tiny details for water at the middle of my E and the bumpy part of the R and I'm getting little alerts like somebody else is going live. Like, I'm live. Why are you telling me that? Okay. Ta-da. Can we talk about Twitch alerts and how they're a damn problem right now? I'm getting alerts for people I don't follow that they think I might like, and at night, like when I'm in bed or whatever, or somebody gets a hype train that, I don't know, they think I want to know. It's not even somebody I follow. I'm not, however, getting alerts when Coverville goes live, who I have subscribed to and stuff for years and years. I'm a mod on that channel, and, they don't feel like letting me know that needs to happen. Okay, so I'm going to get this on here. I'm going to go center first and out. Trying to keep all letters as flat as I can so that I don't end up with breaks in the vinyl. The vinyl does stretch a little, so you can, when you get it down, push really hard to stretch, or once you take the transfer tape off, or the transfer material, you can kind of pull it up a little and pull on the vinyl to get out any bumps or bubbles. I'm actually going to snip between the bottom and top line a little, because I can, like, it doesn't matter if it overlaps there, and it'll let me pull it up a little so that I don't get a bump in my lettering. But yeah, basically just trying to keep all your lettering flat. And, it's another, I'll get out my tool that I use to flatten the vinyl in the first place and rub this onto the glass with the soft part, the hard part, and then I'm going to look through from the other side. And do I see any breaks where etching cream can get in around the letters? because those are the ones I'd have to be very concerned about eliminating. Because otherwise you get like a little letter that has a little bump in it because something got on there. But it looks like there's a little place next to the E in Jesus that I have to make sure is down. And the vinyl secured to the glass. And it is. And just looks so you can see light through it, and it's very obviously like white. You can see inside there. But you see the letters. There we go. Up by this big S. Make sure there's no gap. I'm going to use the soft part so I don't tear my vinyl at all. And it'll stretch friendlier with the vinyl. I think there's a gap so the D isn't interfered with, but I want to make absolutely sure. And then the bottom, water. You see it folded, it creased a little bit because glasses are not flat surface. Curved surfaces are harder. If you're doing something really big curved surface, you can alter your graphic so that it looks like a triangle, kind of. That's what I have to do with the Geek Rose pint glasses. That makes it so you don't have to worry as much about these little folds, but this isn't that big a graphic that I'm too worried. Okay. Looks pretty solid. So, I'm going to pull off the transfer medium. I just try to grab a corner. You don't really need a weeding tool for this. This also normally comes off a lot easier, but I made this stencil a couple weeks ago, so it's been, the adhesive is set basically, harder than it normally does if you do this right away, make your stencil and then do your etch. I don't want to use my weeding tool there because I don't want holes in the vinyl, because that'll make little dots in the glass when the etching cream goes through. Oh my gosh, it tore. Wow, that's new. I refuse to start all over again. It's a gift. It's not something for sale. If that makes it screw up, I'm not doing it over. Let me look. Down by that R. Okay, there's still no holes between that I don't want etching cream to go in. I'm just going to make sure it's nice and secure because it came up briefly. And I'm going to line that. Some of this adhesive got on here, but I don't want to put alcohol. That'll be fine. Okay, now, painter's tape. Just to make sure it stays tidy around the edges. I'm also going to use the painter's tape as a base. I find with the wine glasses and stuff, they sit nicely on this instead of rolling around while I'm trying to put the etching cream on. So, just like you're painting, because I'm basically painting on the etching cream, surrounding my stencil with it. I mean, the etching cream is nice and thick. It's not going to run all over the place, so this is maybe overcautious if you have a very steady hand. I have arthritis and shit, so my hand is not always as steady as I want. So it's worth, some painter's tape. so that it comes out tidy. I'm not going to fold this over. I'm going to tear it off so that I can keep seeing through it when I'm putting the etching cream on to make sure I hit every spot. Okay, I hit over 15 minutes on the Instapot. Need to release the pressure the rest of the way. I'm going to put this piece of, finish masking this, and then I'm going to have to check my soup. This J is so close to the edge that I'm going to have to use a small piece carefully. Keep my J intact. There we go. I don't want to cover any holes because holes are there to make the design. Tap in my mouth, yeah, whatever. Crafters know. Okay, and gotta tear off one more. Oh, it smells good. What I have in the Instapot is 15 bean soup with a smoked ham hock. Have never done that in an Instapot before. All right, so there's our glass ready for the etching. I'm gonna use my newly oiled spoon and check this soup out. Oh, well then. This is cool. I'm excited that this works because it's I didn't have to soak the beans, which I don't anyway when I make it, but it takes a couple hours, and this took 40 minutes, plus like another 15 on warm. You see the soup? Look at the soup. See the soup? Yeah. Big old smoked hock in it, which is falling apart. Could have used a little more. No, the skin's coming off. But there's a joint in it that's not quite apart. The cartilage isn't taken apart. But yeah, the skin came off. So cool. I'll be able to pull that out and take what meat is on it off into the soup. Yeah, it's coming apart. Okay, so I guess the thing to do is to get a bowl and put a little in to make certain that the beans are cooked through. And if they are, yeah, I have soup. I have homemade soup. I'll just need to adjust seasoning and think about if I want to. I'm going to leave that on keep warm and just close it up. Start around with it later because it's crafting stream today. Leave the pressure open. Okay. Adjust seasoning, and if I want it creamier, I can run the immersion blender through just a little. I don't want to completely disintegrate it. I like there to be beans in my bean soup. All right. Did my camera die? No, it's just weird. Here we go. Here's the glass. And here's the soup. Which one is that? The red kidney's still a little more solid than it should be seasoning's good, except it needs some salt. All right, so I'm just going to leave that there and keep warm. The beans will finish cooking through. I'm going to get my smoked salt to season that. And one of the things when I first made smoked salt was, ooh, this will be really great for when I'm making something like a ham or soup, because sometimes the hocks aren't all that salty. So it'll give a little more smokiness too. Okay, here we need Armor Etch. You can put it in a little container, of course, and this is less pasty than my last one, but my last one has been around for a while. So we just paint this onto the stencil. I've seen experiments with brushing it all different directions, making sure the whole time, which is the first way I was taught to do it, or just putting it on and leaving it, and there's negligible difference between those two methods. Also, a thick coat versus a thin coat have been tested, and again, virtually no difference in those methods. So I'm going to put this on, and then I'm going to look at it from the other side again, like I did with the stencil. Make sure it's not leaking weird anywhere. Make sure it is covering all the places I want it to. I can see some air or light through the U. All right. Oh, and the corner of this S up here, a little dab. Oh, she's going to be so happy. She's wanted one of these for a while. So is my sister. Tiff, I got yours cut but not weeded. I'm going to make you one too. I'm just worried I'm mailing it to New York. It's going to be a disaster. It's going to break. So that hasn't happened yet. Okay. Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes.
5-minute timer started.
Because obviously I farted around a little bit. Talking. And, if you can't keep your hands off it, then, dab at it. It doesn't hurt anything. But you're not rubbing. It's a chemical action that's etching. Not all glass etches, which is something I learned trying to etch my pie plates. I put by September. My Pyrex did. I got some cheap Aldi pie plates. The etching cream didn't work on them. I don't know the chemistry behind that. If you do, feel free to join my Discord and explain it to those of us who are not, professionals at Corning or some Glassworks or whatever. Let's see if this works. Cool. Yeah, if you want to tip me, that would be cool. Oh, my stream manager just went away. I didn't want to do that. Here we go. Oh, I hope everybody's having a really great day. I know I haven't been streaming a lot lately. I haven't really been just up to it. I feel like that bechamel stream went really well. Man, the pasta salad I made with the leftover of that cavatappi, what is it called? Cavatappi pasta was freaking so good. It was so quick to throw together, so I don't know, it would have been a really short stream, and nobody really answered in Discord if you were interested in seeing it or not. But I gave some of that away to a friend of mine who just was texting me the next day about how much she loved it. It paired well with salmon that she whipped up to take to work for lunch with her. What other updates? I've not been able. Oh, I'm going to take off my rings that have trouble keeping their black stuff on them. I don't want to risk the chemical on them, screwing it up. What was I saying? Oh, I've not heard from the person that won the breakfast sausage seasoning. I have reached out to Hando, who's been subscribing on the channel, and he's supposed to be giving me his address, so I'm gonna mail it to him instead. If I don't hear from him soon, I might mail it to Scott and Kim Johnson because they're going through some stuff right now, and probably just a nice little thoughtful gift of something I know they like to eat. Some of them like to eat. What else? I got a payout from Twitch. You have to reach like up to $50 in income before they send you anything, and they paid me out the other day. Um, that's I've had just a couple subs since I started cooking channel stuff in October. I think most of that money was sitting there for years, from having subs to Geek Grills. Yeah, maybe heresy and hearsay. I don't know. Other few things I did, but that's really nice to kind of like be on that train again. Even if it's, I think all the years we did Geek Grills for, was it 6 or 7 years, and we had 2 or 3 payouts the whole time, and that's fine. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm gonna leave the Nightbot telling to go to the dcstreamathon.org/night of 12. We raised $1,015 for 2025, and 2026 it overflowed because we were streaming late, and there's like I think $140. And why not? If you don't want to tip and you don't want to subscribe, I mean, I love your support. I will put it to good use within the stream. I'll use it all for the stream, or donate it, because sometimes I do. But if you want to keep donating to the Streamathon, I've got this year set up already, and get that head start, keep running all the way through the year. Hopefully we'll organize more fundraisers through the year. I know a handful of us are interested in that. And if not, I'll do some myself. What else? 25th is January 25th is the Sunday. Alexa, stop. That I am doing the contest. So please tune in that evening. I believe 6 p.m. Eastern is when we'll be starting. Okay, timer's up. I'm going to go rinse this off. I'm just using my bare hands. This is not something toxic. It doesn't screw up your skin. I mean, if you're super sensitive, it's not going to hurt you to use gloves. The only advice I'll really give is make sure you rinse well. Don't get the stuff all over another part of the glass. I run my thumb along the edges of the cutout parts of the stencil, because if it wants to pool in the corner of a stencil, then, it just doesn't rinse as easily. It's like rinsing anything else. Crevices happen. All right. Hopefully you could hear me. All rinsed. Cold water. I didn't rinse my brush. Hey, will you take this and rinse it? Yeah, I'm live. It's fine. Yeah, then ramen for dinner. I just made bean soup. Bean soup? Yep. 15 beans, different kinds of beans, and a ham hock. I'll try it. Yeah. Some of the beans could maybe use a little more time, but it's also been sitting there a bit now, so it's probably fine. And it could use some salt. It's here in the Instapot. Okay. Pull the stencil off. You won't be able to really see the etching until it's dry. And my light's not plugged in. I'll use my phone light or something. Get a little bit of everything. Just to try it. Yeah. Yeah.
bored though.
There's a here.
Oh, I got something.
Okay. So you can see it's coming off, even though it's called permanent vinyl. Nothing's permanent, right? I guess be careful not scratch your glass with whatever you're pulling off your vinyl with. But glass is hard to scratch, or we wouldn't be having to use some chemical compound just to etch stuff on it. I'm going to be with my friend tomorrow trying to declutter her house and throw away a bunch of stuff, and here I am taking her stuff, but maybe I should wait and give it to her as a housewarming when she moves. She could use the cheering up. She's going through some stuff. Man, I've been going through a lot of stuff the last couple of years, and like things are going really well for me right now, so I'm doing everything I can for people who's not going so great again or still. The food pantry, who was a great help to us during the underemployed year and a half we had in our household, put out a call today that they specifically need a bunch of stuff. They need they got a bunch of pancake mix and no syrup. They wanted syrup. They wanted spaghetti and sauce and peanut butter and jelly, and I said okay. So I went to the store. I loaded up on a bunch of stuff. But first I looked at their Amazon wish list, and I found some other things on there that they just have on there. Vienna sausages, I mean, for people that don't have a way to cook. The little packets of, it's like tuna salad and crackers that you can just, open and eat. It's a good protein and carb hit, But anyway, I went to Aldi and I loaded up on stuff from their list. I spent about $60, and I'll be dropping all of that off. I got to contact them actually because Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I'm not sure if they're open or not. They posted their hours, but for drop off for this stuff, but they just put the normal, I'm sure they cut and paste because they're the same every week. So I'll just have to make sure they're open Monday before I go drop off Monday. I message them when we're done here. Almost done. Just little bits. Again, it's probably easier, for most of you to get off than me. I should be using this. I use it mostly when I weed. Rob 3D printed these. I don't know where he found them, Thingiverse or somewhere, where I'm weeding vinyl for like a stencil or a t-shirt or whatever, and I can just take this, and it's got a V here to pull vinyl off without touching it. It says tape on the bottom, so I can take the tape off and throw away all the little tiny scraps. So I should be using that. It's right here. I forgot I got it out. But yeah, the only difficult part here is my hands aren't working great today. Another reason I haven't been streaming as much as usual. It's cold. I think it's affecting my pain levels. I was at the doctor yesterday, and I have a lot of diagnoses, and like fibromyalgia and arthropathy and non-specific autoimmune disease and blah, 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 all this stuff. And she just started referring to, well, with your RA and I was like, wait, I actually have rheumatoid arthritis. Like, is that in the list? The list is so long. I don't know when that got added. Um, don't like hearing that. I mean, it's good for being taken seriously and treated well to have a diagnosis. My doctor is really good at listening to me, which is good. I should probably look. It's probably in there, in the list. Is this the last piece? I think it's the last piece. Middle of this A. Uh-oh. Some of the etching cream got out of the stencil, and I didn't see it. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Like I said, it's a gift. And sometimes, I end up with a cool wine glass with one little tiny flaw in it because... Oh, wait, no. You know what? It's not etched. It's only etched a little. Dang it. All right, this was a mistake in my rinsing. For my talking about making sure you get stuff out of the corners of your stencil, it looks like I did not, and it went below the stencil there. It started to etch it after I rinsed. So, just a small flaw. Yeah, just a small flaw. If you didn't know the actual design, you probably wouldn't even notice. As a matter of fact, I know there's a glass with a flaw in the stencil for sale somewhere, and they never said anything. Ooh, why is it way over here? 91% alcohol, stinky. Way stinkier than the normal, which is usually around 70, I think, that you buy at the pharmacy. So, it's off again because we just had vinyl stuck to it, and it's not the best thing for removing adhesive, but it does a pretty decent job of getting it nice and clean and clear. Whew. And let's see if you can see it. My light is probably not plugged in because my Instapot is, which I'm going to have to also test for the contest because, yeah, I'll probably want to use the light, and I know I'm using Instapot for that. So, let's see. See? There it is. Jesus touched my water. Do I have a piece of paper or something I put behind it? I can put another stencil behind it. Something green. Yeah, that'll make it show up. If I can get it going there. Here we go. There we go. Jesus touched my water. And it's on a slightly tinted, like gray glass. And what a great way to make gifts inexpensively. So a bit of labor. You need a Cricut. I mean, I guess you could try to cut stencils by hand on a vinyl, but I wouldn't recommend it. So yeah, it's just one of the crafts I do. The metal one is, I'm not going to do that right now. Sorry. But maybe I'll go live when I do that, and I'll see if I want to make the weed that stencil in between that I made for my friend Lori's baking scraper. But I have the ends done for tomorrow. I go help her get ready to move. The baking scraper is a little different. I will be using gloves for that. That is a harsh chemical, that acid, that you then, after it sits, you actually neutralize it with baking soda before rinsing it. but it's a really cool result. I've done it with baking scrapers. I've done it with mugs. Um, and then there's a third kind of, it's not etching, but something I do with stencils in my Cricut is I use citrus strip. It's a paint stripper type stuff on Yeti type mugs, and that's another really cool way to do some etching. Well, not etching, doing craft projects that make great gifts and a good side gig if you have the gumption to do an awful lot of it. Well, I can't say what I normally say. I appreciate you being here. I hope you learned something. I'll always take any questions you have for me in the Discord, or if you want to DM me on Twitch, that's cool. And look forward to crafting with you soon.